Live from Verne, California, the SCIAC Championship Network and LVTV Cable Channel 3 present Game 5 of the 2017 Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Softball Tournament. The University of La Verne Leopards versus the Whittier College Poets. Hi everyone, I'm David Smock from Television Sports America alongside Joseph Orozco as we get set for a game that will determine who plays in the championship game tomorrow against Claremont Mudd Scripps. The loser of this game will be eliminated from the tournament, so this is our second elimination game of the day. Chapman University has already been knocked out. And here's Alexis Schiff to lead off. Schiff coming in with 14 home runs, 36 RBIs, batting .395, the softball athlete of the year, and she'll be leading off. Pretty much the same players as we saw in the earlier games today. La Verne having just lost to CMS, Whittier College over Chapman in our first game today. Samantha Bloom in the circle, and the first pitch is ball one.
Bloom coming in for your 24th game started. Next pitch is outside for a ball, 2-0.
The numbers on Samantha Bloom at the start of today's game.
She has 31 appearances, so it'll be 24th game started. Has a record of 12-11 with one save, 160 in the third innings pitched, 3.06 ERA, and 79 strikeouts on the season. She's behind early in the count 3-0. Looks like they're going to intentionally walk Schiff here, and she'll get on board as the first base runner of the game.
Yeah, that'll be ball four.
Now batting left fielder, number 7, Rachel Ogata.
Huh? So Schiff on board. Not the first time she's been walked this season. She's been walked quite a bit. Here's Rachel Ogata. And Ogata looks at the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Clouds off to the north beyond the left field fence. Very dark. We've managed to avoid any major rain today. A few drops here and there. Mostly of the drizzle variety. And next pitch, and a quick throw down. And Schiff gets back in time.
Yeah, Schiff almost caught sleeping there at first base. Had to hustle back in to first.
Count 1 strike to Rachel Ogata. It's going to be hit right near the front, the 5-3 on the putout.
Now batting center fielder, number 1, Carly Condon.
So sacrifice 5-3 moves Schiff into scoring position at second base, and Carly Condon will be the batter.
Nice job by Ogata to get the sacrifice down and advance Schiff into scoring position. We'll see if the Leopards can open up the scoring early on here in this contest.
Well, we have not really had a close game yet of the 2-1 or 3-2 variety in this tournament. We'll see if that happens here with both teams fighting for survival. One of them will play tomorrow. 0-1 the count to Carly Condon. And it's going to be in there for a strike. And it's 0-2.
Whittier already survived their first do-or-die game earlier this morning when they defeated Chapman University by a score of 10-7 to advance to this game.
An 0-2 pitch. Well, the long wait to play again hasn't really affected Whittier. Before the game, they were kind of dancing and laughing and doing everything over the third base dugout. So they're a very loose team coming into this elimination game as the 1-2 pitch. Going to be ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you mentioned, Whittier, that they were all upbeat right before this game. Contrasting styles compared to how La Verne was. Very serious. Everybody was in the dugout, had their game faces on. Very disappointed in their performance in the last game that happened just previously earlier this afternoon against Claremont Muscripts.
And this is going to be a ground ball right to short over to first base in time for the out.
Nice job there by the shortstop Ahern to just gather and throw Condon out by a couple steps. Condon does have good speed running down the line, but she is thrown out. And here comes Sienna Kendricks batting in the cleanup spot.
So there are 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Schiff on that sacrifice ground ball moves over to third base. And here's Sierra Kendricks, and the first pitch to her is strike 1, 0-1.
Kendricks in that first game against Claremont Muscripts had a few good at-bats. However, she had a sacrifice in her first at-bat, and the second at-bat she hit a rocket, but right back to the starting pitcher.
And that's going to be strike 2. So no balls and 2 strikes, the count to Kendricks. Now it gets away from the catcher, and coming in to score is Schiff, and it's 1-0 Laverne.
Great base running awareness by Schiff. Ball was in the dirt and squirted to the backstop past the catcher Sanchez on the play. It squirted to her right, and it went far enough that allowed Schiff to score. As we see a replay, ball was in the dirt and went past Sanchez, and scoring it easily from third base was Schiff.
That's going to be strike 3 called on Kendricks, and the side is retired. We're going to ask on that scoring play if that was wild pitch or pass ball. So pass ball, the indication from our official score, half an inning has been played. It's the University of Laverne Leopards 1 and the Whittier College Poets coming to bat.
And coming to the pitcher circle for Laverne would be Elisa Ponce for the Leopards. Ponce, this will be her 18th game started for Laverne. She started the game against Claremont Muscripts earlier this afternoon for Laverne. However, she caught herself in a hole early, didn't really have great command of her pitches, and Claremont Muscripts ran her out of the game after only a third of an inning pitched. So she's looking to regather and regain herself here and look to redeem herself as well for her team and get a good start out of her in this game as Laverne's season is on the line. As we have the replay from the first base side of Schiff scoring, sliding in easily to home from third base. And it opens up the scoring for Laverne, giving them the early 1-0 lead.
Leading off the bottom of the first inning for Whittier, third baseman, number 12, Brianna Alvarez.
Here comes Brianna Alvarez to the plate now for the Poets of Whittier College.
So we go to the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 in favor of the University of Laverne.
Alvarez already showing bunt. She does have good speed. She comes into this game today with 45 stolen bases. That leads the conference.
That's going to be a strike, and all of a sudden the count 0-2 to Brianna Alvarez playing at third base. And that one's going to be high for ball 1.
Count should actually be 2-1 according to the home plate umpire. Adjust the scoreboard here.
Ponce into the windup, and this is going to be hit foul. So the count remains, well, as soon as they update it here.
Count now goes to 2-2.
Yeah, so 2-2 on the count. Now he's going to miss. Elisa Ponce, a 5A junior pitcher from Temple City, out of Temple City High School, in the circle for the University of Laverne. Ponce, record of 11-4 at the start of today's action, at a 2.37 ERA, but gets a strikeout there of Alvarez.
Now batting, second baseman, number 9.
Alvarez bit the dust on that one. Swung away and missed on a pitch that was on the outside corner. And Ponce has the first out defensively here for the Leopards.
So here's our next batter. And for Whittier College,
It appears to
and that's
be
Sierra Rodriguez, the 5'1" freshman from Whittier out of California High School.
Rodriguez comes in today with a batting average of 278, 13 runs batted in, and 11 stolen bases on the season.
And the 2-0 pitch hit foul down the left field line. It's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Sierra Rodriguez at the plate. 1 out, bases empty for Whittier College here in the bottom of the first inning. And the 2-1 pitch. That's going to be strike 2. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Ponce here working on the outside corner against these left-handed batters for Whittier.
The 2-2, that one is hit foul.
All of Rodriguez's swings in this at-bat have been protective swings. Looking to try to smack one down the line here.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way, and this one is going to be lofted into shallow left field where it's caught
Now batting,
by
right
Rachel
fielder,
Ogata.
Number 7, Casey Whitney.
So that's 2 outs. And there's Casey Whitney.
Yeah, Rodriguez just tried to hit that ball the other way. Try to hit it down the line. However, she just lifted it. Ended up being almost a small, lazy fly ball down the left field line, and it was an easy catch for Ogata.
And pitch is a strike. And it's 0-1. The fact that we've gotten this far in the day is next pitch will update the scoreboard here. And 1 ball and 1 strike. In fact, we've gotten to this point of day 2 of the SCIAC tournament without a rain delay, without heavy rain, anything like that. And keep our fingers crossed for the championship game tomorrow, where it's supposed to rain pretty much all day. So we'll see whether that could be everywhere in Southern California except here at the University of Laverne. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch, that one's going to be high for ball 2.
Whitney comes into this game with a batting average of 346. Has 6 home runs on the season to go along with 32 runs batted in. And when she gets on base, she has 8 stolen bases on the season.
And the 2-2 pitch, that's going to be outside. So now a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Casey Whitney. 2 outs, bases empty here in the top of the first inning. Check that, bottom of the first inning. 1-0 Laverne, and that's going to be inside for ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Casey Whitney, and that puts the first base runner on board for Whittier College. And here's Mari Ahern, leading home run hitter on this team for the Poets.
Not often that your shortstop is your power hitter on your team, but so is the case for the Poets, as Ahern has 8 home runs this season.
And the first pitch outside, ball 1. Casey Whitney at first base, following the walk, represents the tying run for Whittier College. Again, the University of Laverne, the visiting team in this contest, and the Whittier College Poets, the home team. That's going to be a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to Mari Ahern.
That ball just tailed back into the inside corner. Nice pitch there by Ponce.
And the 1-1 on the way. And that's going to be strike 2. Mari Ahern, a 5'7" junior shortstop from Fremont, California, up in the Bay Area. Graduate of Los Altos High School. 1-2 to Ahern. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. That one's going to miss.
Nice job by D'Angelo to smother that one up. Whitney had nowhere to go on first base but to stay put.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Ponce looking in. And strike 3 called, swinging. They strand Whitney at first base. And at the end of 1 inning of play, it's the University of Laverne Leopards 1 and the Whittier College Poets nothing.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress.
A mom.
We're all part of your community.
Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty.
Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
We go to the top of the second inning. University of Laverne with a 1-0 lead over Whittier College. Leading things off for the Leopards will be D'Angelo. Angelica D'Angelo, 5'5" junior catcher from Anaheim Hills, California, out of Canyon High School. Coming into the tournament today. And D'Angelo, first pitch, that one's going to be a fly out to center field. We're about to say that coming in today, batting .337, but 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, Angelica had a pretty good hit out there. Got a good piece of it out there to center field. Her, Ali Fonseca, was in the right spot at the right time, and she was able to run up and get that one for the first out.
Here's Melissa Garcia, 5'5" sophomore from Norwalk, California, graduate of Lakewood High School, and looks at the first pitch for ball 1, 1-0.
A couple of teammates on the Leopards, Garcia and Schiff, both Moore League products down there in the Long Beach area.
And pitch in there for a strike, 1-1.
Garcia attended Lakewood, whereas Schiff attended Wilson High School down there in Long Beach.
And the 1-1 fly ball to left field. That's catchable. And Ogata has it for the out.
Second baseman, number 15, Michelle De Guzman.
Garcia just got under that one. Gave it a pretty decent ride out there to left field. However, it was an easy catch for...
Actually, Guillermo, so when I correct that, Guillermo out in left field making the play. So 2 up, 2 down. Here in the top of the second inning. And the batter is Michelle De Guzman, 5'2" sophomore from San Diego, California, out of Montgomery High School. And the first pitch was a strike. He counts 0-1. Bloom into the windup. And the pitch, one's going to be outside, 1-1. Still dark clouds almost everywhere you look, 360 degrees. Wind out of the west blowing from third base out to right field at this point. The flags to our right on the first base side are barely moving. If any ball hit to right field might be a little wind aided. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count and the pitch. That one's going to be inside for ball 3. So 3-1 now, the count to Michelle De Guzman. This one's going to be hit foul.
De Guzman comes into this game batting .241, 1 home run on the season along with 8 RBI.
So she started out at .250, so she's gone down 9 points here in her batting average. Basically on the basis of the game earlier today. 3-2 pitch. That one's going to be a high fly ball to right field. Gone. The Guzman will touch them all. And the University of Laverne adds 1 more run to take a 2-0 lead.
Well, you mentioned earlier that any ball hit to right field could be wind aided. I think that was just a perfect example of it. Ball would just hit to right field. It looked like it could have stayed in the park, but it just kept on carrying, and it just tucked over the right field wall out there for a solo home run by Michelle De Guzman, her 2nd home run on the season.
So for De Guzman, that's now her 9th RBI of the season as well. And Laverne leads 2-0. That one goes off the catcher's mitt, but nobody on base, so it doesn't matter. So 2-0 in favor of Laverne here in the top of the second inning. Again, this is an elimination game. The loser, their season's over. The winner will advance and play the Claremont Mud Scripps Athenas tomorrow at 12 noon here at Campus West Softball Stadium. We'll have the action for you live on the SCIAC Championship Network. You just go to portal.stretchinternet.com/SCIAC. The 2-0 pitch, that's a strike with the foul ball to make it 2-1.
Bloom is going to have to settle down a little bit here, regain her composure after allowing that home run to De Guzman.
Haley Gomez, by the way, is the batter. A 5'4" junior from Covina out of Northview High School. And that's going to be ball 3. So now Bloom down 3-1. That's going to be ball 4. So I'll follow up the home run with a walk. With 2 outs here.
Batting shortstop, number 24, Shelby Tevis.
Shelby Tevis will be the batter. Tevis started out today batting .196 with 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. And Joseph, you have the update on her stats.
Yeah, Tevis comes in with a batting average of 194 now, with 4 long balls and 14 runs batted in. Tevis had a tough going in the last game. Defensively, had a couple of errors on the day. Looking to, they have a throwback to first, but Gomez slides back in just in time. Almost got caught in no man's land. Did Gomez, but fortunately for her, she slid back into first base safely.
You might be able to tell on the screen that the sun is making a cameo appearance. So right now the field, all the way from home plate out to deep center and from left to right, bathed in sunlight, despite all the dark clouds around us. So it's kind of a strange sight. But that's good news as far as getting this game in without any rain. And there's going to be a base hit, ground ball to left field. So Tevis on board. That moves Gomez to second base with 2 outs.
We saw there at second base, Gomez voicing her approval of that base hit by Tevis. Tevis, just a simple approach, just pull the ball down the line, and she was able to get it under the third baseman glove of Alvarez into left field for a base hit.
And the first pitch is going to be a strike to Schiff, the softball athlete of the year. Anna Gurr, the pitcher of the year. We saw that matchup in our previous game between Claremont Mudd Scripps and Laverne. So,
and they're going to intentionally walk her again, just like they did in the first at-bat. Our official scorekeeper here in the booth was telling us that in a doubleheader between these two earlier this season, Whittier did not let Alexis Schiff beat them. Now she's switching over left-handed a little bit.
Schiff changes, batting left, and it's still throw out. I think that's her silent protest about her being intentionally walked. Now she goes back to the other side as a right-handed batter. And she will walk. That loads the bases. Gomez will go to third, Tevis to second, and Schiff at first. And Rachel Ogata will be the batter with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the top of the second inning.
Well, as I was mentioning earlier, in a doubleheader between these two, between Whittier and Laverne, they, as in Whittier, did not let Alexis Schiff beat them. They walked her 7 times in a doubleheader between these two schools. And so you can add 2 more to that total today.
Well, now they have that intentional walk rule in baseball as far as you can just notify that you want to walk the player. But I remember Johnny Bench, I think it was the 75 World Series, they tried to intentionally walk him. The pitch was not far enough, and he actually poked at the ball of his bat and got a base hit. Johnny Bench, one of the greatest catchers in the history of Major League Baseball. Part of the Big Red Machine teams in Cincinnati in the mid-'70s. This one's going to be hit foul down the left field line. Rachel Ogata hit into a sacrifice ground ball her first time up. Now up here in the top of the second inning.
Bases loaded too, so Laverne has an opportunity to break this game open.
This one's going to be foul tip.
Ogata does have 10 runs batted in on the season, and she's looking to add to her total in this at-bat.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch on the way, and that's going to be ball 2 to even the count at 2-2 to Rachel Ogata. Ogata, a 5'4" sophomore from Tustin, graduate of Foothill High School. Bloom 2-2 pitch. That's going to be on the right field, into right field for a ground ball base hit. 1 run comes in, 2 runs come in.
And give Ogata 12 runs batted in on the season. Runner at first, Schiff advances from first to third on that base hit. And now Laverne has a 4-0 lead over Whittier.
So look like Gomez came in.
See, Ogata, left-handed batter, just pulled the ball down in the hole between first and second for an easy ground ball base hit for her.
Schiff all the way over at third base. Ogata with the 2 RBIs now at first base. So runners at the corners. And a 4-0 lead for the University of Laverne batting here in the top of the second inning. The batter is Carly Condon into a sacrifice ground ball her first time at the plate. This one's going to be fouled away. That was a 2-2 pitch that Ogata sent into right field. Perfect placement of the ball. So we have deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 runners on the bases, and a 4-0 lead. And that's going to be that for Condon. She strikes out on strike 3. And we have played an inning and a half here at the University of Laverne with the Leopards leading Whittier College 4-0.
Great half inning there for the Leopards offensively. Few base hits here and there. I believe the biggest hit, however, in my opinion, had to be that Tevis base hit to left field to keep that inning extended, and it forced Whittier to walk Schiff and get to Ogata, who drove in the big 2-run RBI single. As there's the home run by De Guzman earlier in the inning that opened up the scoring, that made it 2-0. And then follow that up with all those base hits by Laverne to extend the lead to 4-0. When you look at that replay, it feels like it was days ago because it was an overcast weather, and now it's still overcast, but the sun, as you mentioned, has made a cameo appearance. And it's like we're playing this game in a different day.
Catcher number 22, Natalia Sanchez.
It'll be the 5, 6, 7 batters due up for Whittier College in the bottom of the second inning, starting with Sanchez, Garza, and Barber.
Sanchez comes into this game with a 300 batting average, even 3 home runs on the season with 28 runs batted in.
And the first pitch, that's going to be called for strike 1, 0-1.
Sanchez in the first game against Chapman.
That'll be ball 1, 1-1 the count.
She went 1 for 3. And reached base again via a base on ball. Slow pitch there, almost a little bit breaking ball action by Ponce. Misses outside, 2-1 the count now.
Here we go, 2 balls, 1 strike, as Joseph mentioned. And that'll be right off of Tevis into left field. So Sanchez gets on board on an E6.
Designated player number 4.
And again, the infield struggles for Laverne continues. Tevis again, she had a couple errors in the last game against Claremont Muscripts, and her defensive woes continue with another error on this last pitch.
We're going back to live action here. Caitlin Garza at the plate. A pitch, a strike, 0-1.
Garza, a transfer out of Citrus College, comes into this game with a batting average of .337 and 16 runs batted in on the season. Pitch is way outside for a ball, almost a pitch out intentionally by Ponce. D'Angelo checks over at first. to look up on Sanchez. Sanchez holds.
Eliza Ponce in the circle for the University of Laverne. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Caitlin Garza, the designated player. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Now 1-2 the count.
It sounded like if Garza got a little piece on it, heard some contact, at least for my ears up here. Nevertheless, the count is 1-2. Miss outside again on that pitch, and the count now goes even to 2-2.
So an even count, 2-2. The pitch on the way. And that's going to be
a strike 3 call.
Yep. Well, I'm not sure what happened there because. And now the umpire tells Garza that was strike 3. So Caitlin Garza strikes out on a call, 3rd strike.
Number 2, Becca Barber.
We have the third base coach coming in to talk to the home plate umpire. It was pretty interesting because it appeared that the ball fell out of the glove of D'Angelo. And they're saying third base coach checked if the ball may have hit Garza. Umpires say no, it did not, and so it is strike 3.
Becca Barber coming to the plate. She can play both at first and third base. A 5'5" freshman from El Monte, California, a graduate of Arroyo High School. And this is the first time we've seen a Becca, as they call her on the team, Becca Barber at the plate. And in fact, Barber this season, as we take a look at her batting stats, she's only had 57 at-bats, hitting .228 with 1 home run and 6 RBIs on the season coming into today's action. We did not see her in the first game today.
She's only appeared against Laverne in the first doubleheader, not in the second one on the season. And she went 0 for 4 in those games combined.
So Barber with 1 out. First pitch, ball 1.
Barber swings and misses at that pitch. Count goes even now to 1-1.
So 1 ball and 1 strike to Becca Barber playing at first base. 1 out and a runner on in Natalie Sanchez. That's going to be another pitch to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Becca Barber playing at third base in this team, and now they update the scoreboard to show 2-0. That's going to be a strike.
And so goes to 2-2.
Well,
yeah, a little bit of confusion up here with the scoreboard.
With the scoreboard, we're following them. That's the official there. So it shows 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out with Becca Barber at the plate. And the next pitch outside to make a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Barber.
D'Angelo tried to frame that pitch to get the outside corner. Home plate umpire said it did not. Count is full.
This one's going to be foul off to the right, out of play. Elisa Ponce wearing number 2, the pitcher in the circle. Becca Barber, number 2, the batter. And the umpire immediately talks about whatever they were trying to do to put a little bit of dirt on the ball. That's something that's going to be their preview of the umpire and not the pitcher. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Barber. Runner at first in Sanchez, and that's going to be outside for ball 4. Sanchez moves up to scoring position at second base. Barber's on with a walk here. One out. And here's Ali Fonseca. Fonseca, 5'3" junior outfielder from Pico Rivera, California, out of St. Paul High School. And the pitch, one's going to be outside, ball one.
Fonseca comes into this game batting .276 on the season with 1 home run and 16 runs batted in.
Four nothing in favor of the University of La Verne. And the 1-0 pitch, that one's going to miss as well. Be high for ball two, 2-0 the count. Still only one out here in the bottom of the second inning. La Verne got a run in the first inning, 3 more in the top of the second, and here we are in the bottom of the second. Timeout called by, I think it may have started out with La Verne. Both teams meeting there in the circle. The University of La Verne Leopards. Usually the outfielders, they'll get together and they'll talk a little bit, but basically it's the infield and battery that are meeting in the circle. Now Whittier College back out on the bases with Natalia Sanchez at second base, Becca Barber at first. One out here in the bottom of the second inning. Whittier trailing 4-0. Pitch got away from the catcher, that allowed Sanchez and Barber to move up. So Sanchez now at third base. Barber also in scoring position at second, still with 1 out. And that ball didn't get too far away from the plate, Joseph, but just enough.
Yeah, it scored just enough where D'Angelo couldn't find it initially, and then when she did, it was at a tough angle to make a throw, and it was right behind the batter in the batter's box, and allowed the runners to advance an extra base.
So Whittier College still has not yet scored, but they're knocking on the door here with runners at second and third and 1 out in the bottom of the second. A big swing and a miss by Fonseca. And the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Natalia Sanchez at third, Becca Barber at second. And the 2-2 delivery outside, ball 3, and now a full count. Do you pitch to Barber, or do you try to go ahead and walk her and take your chances with the bases loaded?
Knowing Ponce and her attitude, she's very aggressive. She wants to get every batter out.
And that one is going to be inside for a called third strike. That's the second out of the inning.
That at-bat was pretty interesting for Ponce, just because it felt like she had a little problem locating her pitches initially on a couple of those pitches, but she was able to regather herself and get that last pitch tailed back in there on the inside corner for strike 3.
Lisa Ponce now with 4 strikeouts in the ball game. And we go to the top of the batting order. Check that, I'm sorry. It's Guillermo. So Guillermo in the 9 slot is the batter. If she keeps the inning alive, then we'll see Brianna Alvarez at the top of the batting order. So runners at second and third, 2 outs here, a count of 2 balls and no strikes to the left fielder Guillermo.
Guillermo comes into the game with a .333 batting average and with 5 runs batted in as well.
And the 2-0 pitch, that one's going to be popped up, trying to go back and make the catch, and she does.
Nice
is
catch.
The catcher, Angelica D'Angelo, and that will end the inning. We've played 2 here at the University of Laverne. It's the Leopards 4 and Whittier College nothing.
I've won Olympic gold medals. But this is a race I really want to win.
10 people in America drown every day.
It's the race to save lives.
1 in 5 kids are younger than me.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
Swimming became my passion. It changed my life. And now you can do the same for someone that you love. Drowning is preventable. Did you know that swim lessons reduce the risk by 88%? Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now before it's too late.
Make us fly!
I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. The USA Swimming Foundation, saving lives and building champions.
Welcome back to the softball complex here on Campus West. The Campus West Athletic Facilities. There's a beautiful stadium. My goodness. Seeing it for the first time yesterday is like a lot of wow factor. Let's put it that way. As we get set now to go to the top of the 3rd inning, University of Laverne on top, 4-0 over Whittier College here. Again, the elimination game, the loser, their season is over. The winner will play Claremont Mud Scripps tomorrow at 12 noon in the championship game, or whenever the rain stops, we'll put it that way. And the first pitch, a long fly ball to right center field off the fence. And Sierra Kendrick with a stand-up double to lead off the top of the 3rd inning.
Wow, did Sienna get a good piece of this ball? She just hacked it and sent it the other way. That wind blew it farther than it probably could have gone, but regardless, there was a big fly to right field and it goes off the base of the fence for a leadoff double for Sienna Kendrick here to start off the 3rd inning. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change coming in for the Poets.
It looks like it's going to be Annika Seedborg. Going back to that double, you know, quite honestly, with the wind, I thought it was going to clear the fence, but it's a little difficult here when you have a clear, like a fence as opposed to a solid fence. So there's going to be a pitching change here. And Annika Seedborg will come in.
Well, then you mentioned the wind, too. You have the wind blowing from southwest, northeast, but you also have a wind to our right. Flags also blowing out to left field. You wonder if those winds affected that ball. It just kept it just in the park as well. You wonder if it was just a straight wind blowing to right field, if that ball would have carried out of here.
Yeah, because the wind out of the west is going from 3rd base to right field, and the other set of flags blowing in from 1st base to left field. Almost competing winds. By the way, we're back into cloudy condition.
As you see the swing by Sienna, good approach on that one. She kind of did a little back flip there. She probably thought it was gone when it came off the bat. But no, it went off the base of the wall. And she finds herself in scoring position with Angelica D'Angelo to the plate.
Seedborg coming in today with an 8-9 record, an ERA of 3.51 in the first pitch to D'Angelo. Angelica D'Angelo at the plate. No outs. Kendrick at 2nd base after the double. So Kendrick's in scoring position there at 2nd. And the count, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be called for a strike. And the count's 2-1. Kendrick's, oh, check that, D'Angelo. Flight out to center field the first time at the plate. This one's going to be a long ball, and it's gone. Home run. Home run, Angelica D'Angelo. And it's 6-0 in favor of Laverne.
Number 8, Melissa Garcia.
Talk about an old school power alley right-handed home run for a right-handed hitting catcher. The ball was on the inner half of the plate, and Angelica D'Angelo said, "That's my sweet spot," and sets it deep over the left center field wall and extends the Leopards' lead of 6-0 here in the top half of the third inning.
So far, University of Laverne doing everything right. Whittier College digging themselves a hole here in an elimination game, down 6-0. And the batter is Melissa Garcia. Garcia, 5'5" sophomore out of Norwalk, California, from Lakewood High School. Big swing and a miss there for strike one. 1-1 the count.
David, something tells me that the Leopards were angry coming into this game, especially after the way they performed in the last game against Claremont Mudscripts earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, I think they, going into that game today, I think they had a really good shot of beating CMS and securing their spot in the championship game tomorrow. Well, it didn't quite work out that way, so I have to work a little bit harder.
And Whittier, after the appeal, say she did go around and swing and miss. So that will be
second baseman, number 15, Michelle de Guzman.
So that's the first out here in the top of the third. Michelle de Guzman will be the batter. And the first pitch to de Guzman. Already scored a run in the ball game back in the second inning. Here we are in the top of the third with 2 more runs in. 6-0 lead for the Leopards. That's going to go off the glove of Seaborg, and nobody's going to get a play at first base. So de Guzman is on board. We'll see if that's an infield single, and that's what it's going to be called.
Number 4,
I would have ruled it an infield single too. It was a sharp hopper right back to the catcher. However, it took a pretty big bounce. Tough for any catcher to make that play, and it goes off the webbing of Seaborg, and it bounced enough to allow de Guzman to go to first safely.
So a runner at first base, 1 out here in the top of the third, and the batter will be Haley Gomez, and she hits a long fly ball foul down the right field line, and the count is 0-1.
Gomez there trying to spray that ball the other way. I think she kind of surprised herself with how much power that ball had in the air going down the line. If it would have stayed fair, it probably would have been gone. But it went foul off the screen.
Now, if the University of Laverne, should they be in the championship game tomorrow against CMS, they would have to beat CMS in the first game to force a Game 7. That'll be winner take all. That's going to be a base hit to left field. And everybody's safe at first and second base as de Guzman goes to second. And Haley Gomez now at first with the single to left. And here's Shelby Tevis. Tevis scored a run, and she had a single to left field her last time at the plate.
I have an eye over here on the Whittier bullpen. I do have somebody warming up. I can't tell who it is as the player has a sweater over her jersey. Next pitch here to Tevis is in there for a strike.
So the count 0-1 to Shelby Tevis. Tevis, a 5'5" freshman shortstop from Sacramento out of St. Francis High School. And here comes the Metrolink train again. And the count 0-2. That's an attraction all in itself, just watching the Metrolink train. A lot of fun. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. So Tevis strikes out.
Batting first baseman, number 22, Alexis.
Kind of an interesting.
So we go to the top of the batting order. Schiff at the plate with runners on board, and they're going to intentionally walk her again.
kind of interesting considering that Whittier's already down 6-0. You would think, forget about walking here. We need to get this out so we can get back to the plate and try to chip away at this lead that Laverne has.
Very good point.
But nevertheless, they're saying we are not going to let this girl beat us no matter what. And they intentionally walk her for the 3rd time this game. And soon she will take her base and have the bases loaded here for the Leopards.
Now, that will load the bases, but one thing to keep in mind, as the bases are now loaded, de Guzman goes to second, de Guzman goes to third, Gomez goes to second, Schiff at first base, and all Ogata did in her last at-bat was have a single to right field. So this could blow up for Whittier College if Ogata gets a base hit here.
You could tell Ogata is aggressive in this at-bat. First pitch, she swings and misses for a strike.
Every bag with a leopard on it. And that's going to be ball 1 to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike to Rachel Ogata. Ogata from Tustin, a 5'4" sophomore, Foothill High School. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This one's going to be popped up out towards shallow left field. Tevis almost had a collision there, and they get the out as the side is retired. And in the middle of the 3rd inning, it's the University of Laverne 6 and the Whittier College Poets nothing.
That was almost a disaster there in shallow left field between the left fielder Guillermo and the shortstop Ahern, but Guillermo was able to make the catch. Oh. You see spectators here acknowledging of the camera work. The parents saying hi to the camera.
Again, a great job by everybody on our LVTV crew today, making these games possible. A triple header in cold weather is not a fun way to spend a Saturday, but they're out here anyway. And again, we appreciate their fine professional quality work. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Whittier College trailing by a bunch. And they're going to go to the top of the batting order. It will be the top 3rd, Brianna Alvarez, Sierra Rodriguez, and Casey Whitney. Alvarez steps in, having struck out swinging her first time at the plate. This will be up against Lisa Ponce. But it's going to be filled by Ponce over to first base in time for the out.
Second baseman, number 9,
Alvarez trying to
Sierra
showcase
Rodriguez.
her speed, trying to bump for a hit there. As we mentioned earlier, she had 45 stolen bases coming into today's game, so she definitely has wheels. But nice job by Ponce to gather that bunt attempt and throw it to first for the first out.
Here's Sierra Rodriguez, flight out to left field. That one's going to be into the net for strike 1, 0-1. Rodriguez, a 5'1" freshman from Whittier, out of California High School there in Whittier. The 0-1 pitch. Here's ball 1-1 the count.
Ponce against these top 2 in the order for Whittier. She's trying to attack on the outside corner against him.
Whittier with only 1 hit, and that was actually not even that, it was an E6. That was a base runner. They're looking for their first actual hit. Like I said, they had a base runner on a couple of times. It was the walk to Whitney and then the E6 that put Natalie Sanchez on board, and Becca Barber also walked. And here's the 1-2 pitch. It's going to miss the strike zone. Lisa Ponce in the circle for the University of Laverne. The 2-2, that's going to be a line right to de Guzman.
Now batting right fielder, number 7, Casey Whitney.
Ball was hit pretty well there by Rodriguez. Soft line drive. I mean, pretty hard line drive, but de Guzman was in the right spot. She just goes down on one knee and gathers that one for the second out of the inning.
I was going to say, she didn't have to move. She just moved her glove. So here's Casey Whitney, who walked in the first inning. And the pitch is going to be looked at for a strike, 0-1.
Talk about, don't really see too many breaking balls in softball, but that one just started off at the height of Whitney's head and dropped in for a strike.
The 0-1 pitch on the way. That's going to be outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Casey Whitney, 5'2" sophomore from Cypress, out of Cypress High School. And the home plate umpire indicating that the count is indeed 1-1. And the pitch on the way by Ponce. Oh, that's going to be ball 2. So 2 balls and 1 strike. That's going to be high and inside. Ball 3. So now Ponce behind on the count. 3 balls and 1 strike to Casey Whitney. Batting here of 1 out. Bases empty in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And that's going to be ball 4. So
now batting shortstop, number 16, Maddie Ahern.
A 2-out walk to Whitney. We forgot to mention that Rodriguez, that was the 2nd out. So we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Now there's a base runner in Casey Whitney. And here comes Mari Ahern, who is the best power hitter on this team. Ahern coming in today batting .314, 7 home runs, 35 RBIs. And that's going to be a strike, the count 0-1. Just waiting for Ahern to just really launch one out of here.
Don't know if she'll have her power swing in this at bat with 2 outs. She's probably just looking to get aboard here and extend this inning. But with her power, as that pitch is high and outside for a ball, 1-1, she could just be swinging for the fences and look to make this a 4-run game.
5'7" junior shortstop from Fremont, California, up in the Bay Area out of Los Altos High School. And the count, as Joseph mentioned, 1-1. It's going to be way outside for ball 2. 2-1 the count. If Ahern continues the inning, Italia Sanchez will be the next batter, most likely. We say most likely in this kind of elimination game, you're going to go to your bench for pinch hitters as often as possible. And here's the 2-1. That's going to be ball 3, 3-1.
D'Angelo wanted that ball on the outside corner. That ball tailed back inside. Fortunately for Ponce, didn't go on a sweet spot for Ahern.
And the next pitch into the netting. So that makes it a full count of 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mari Ahern. Struck out swinging her first time at the plate today. Back in the 1st inning, now batting here in the 3rd with 2 outs. And Casey Whitney at first base. And the 3-2 payoff pitch, and that goes into the netting. We'll do it again at 3-2.
I'll tell you what, though, the last couple swings by Ahern, she is looking to drive that ball. She's just missed her spot bat-wise, and she's fouled off the last 2 pitches. But she's fouled them off pretty hard.
The wind from the south has died down. The wind out of the west from the 3rd base line out to right field is blowing very strongly. That one's just going to be a little foul there at home plate. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Mari Ahern.
Pretty good at bat here between Bonson and Ahern. Don't have a pitch tally on my hand, but wouldn't be surprised if it's about the 8th or 9th pitch in this at bat.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes, indication from the home plate umpire, and here's the payoff pitch. That's going to be driven right to center field for the out, caught by Carly Condon, and the inning is over.
Laverne 6 runs, Whittier 0.
So we've come to the end of the 3rd inning with the score. It's the University of Laverne 6 and the Whittier College Poets nothing.
Serving the nation's poor and vulnerable regardless of faith, and advocating on their behalf, we are Catholic.
Top of the 4th inning we go here at the Campus West softball field on the University of Laverne. University of Laverne Leopards leading the Whittier College Poets by a score of 6-0 in this do-or-die game for both teams. Winner advances to the championship round of the SCIAC Conference postseason tournament tomorrow, whereas the loser will head on home as their season will be over. Whittier goes back out to begin her first full inning of relief. And she's looking to maintain the 6-run deficit for Whittier, as Laverne, compared to their last game against Claremont Musgrave, Laverne has just had good at-bats all around the board here. For them, better swings and better matchups for the Leopards. And that has made evident by their 6-0 lead. A couple of long balls hit by Laverne. De Guzman hit one out back in the 2nd inning. And then in the 3rd inning, D'Angelo had the big 2-run home run to left center field, which extended the lead to 6-0. And coming to the plate will be Carly Condon to lead off the top half of the 4th inning. Condon today 0 for 1. Struck out in her last at bat. First pitch, she takes it outside for a ball, 1-0. She hits that one into left field for a base hit. And Condon pulled that ball down the left field line. Third baseman for Whittier. On that play, Brianna Alvarez had no chance of getting that one. That one was smoked. So leadoff single for Carly Condon, and here comes Sienna Kendricks to the plate. Kendricks takes a look at that one outside for a ball, 1-0. Kendricks thought she hit a home run in her last at bat, but it went off the base of the wall for a double. She takes that pitch outside again for a ball, same spot, 2-0 the count now between Kendricks and Wartburg. Coming up from Seedboard. That one's popped up on the infield. Second baseman has it for the first out of the inning. Rodriguez was under it. So one down here in the top of the 4th inning, and here comes Angelica D'Angelo to the plate. D'Angelo, as we mentioned in that last at-bat, her last at-bat, the 2-1 home run hit to left center field to make this a 6-0 game. That one's hit pretty well again to left field, and she has done it again. The score stands now between Laverne and Whittier as D'Angelo pulled that ball down the left field line, and there was no doubt about it. Again, out over the plate, and D'Angelo makes Seaborg pay. And we have a new pitcher coming into the game for the Poets. It will be number 29, Alexis Vargas. Freshman pitcher out of Pomona, California. Attended Bishop Amal High School. Her travel ball team for softball. She played for the OC Batbusters. Give some pitching stats here for Vargas. This will be her 5th
designated player, number 8, Melissa Garcia.
appearance on the season. Previous 4 appearances, she has a record of 1-0. She's only pitched 8 in the 3rd inning and has an ERA of 2.52. Just having a look at her here through her warm-up pitches, she likes to warm up very fast and not give any of her batters any time. First pitch to Garcia is right down the middle for a strike. Garcia takes it. 0-1. She has not faced Laverne. Vargas has, so that pitch is in the dirt for a ball. 1-1. This is the first time the Laverne batters have seen Vargas this season. Next pitch to Garcia. Gets the outside corner for a strike. Count now goes to 1-2. Garcia tried to lay off that one. And she did lay off, but regardless, caught the outside corner. That one's in the dirt, about 2 feet in front of the plate. Nice job by Garcia to lay that one off. Count now goes even to 2-2. No defensive shifts here for the Poets against Garcia. That one's tailed inside. It's a little pop-up near the left field foul line, and that one falls in between the catcher and the third baseman. Alvarez and the catcher Sanchez are both down. Alvarez is able to get back up to her feet, and so is the catcher Sanchez slowly. See the replay here. Ran it between them, and the catcher Sanchez hits her body against the shoulder of Alvarez. Kind of hard to believe that Alvarez got up first after that one. She's favoring her right side. And right now they're doing a concussion test on her. She seems to be responding well. Here at her shoulder, I guess it must have got a piece of her head too. Still running the concussion test on her. Concussions, obviously, with the recent research in multiple sports. Anyways, we have another look at this. You see, outstretched glove of Sanchez missed the ball here, and you see Sanchez just run right into Alvarez. Actually hit her on the left side, got her shoulder, and must have made contact on her head as well. Also took a pretty hard fall, did Alvarez. but she passed all the concussion protocol tests and looks like she's going to stay in the game. Now they're checking over on the catcher Sanchez, but it looks like she's going to be okay as well. So fortunately, both players are going to be okay, and we will resume play shortly. Infield meeting, actually, it was actually the whole lineup, outfield as well, came in to the meeting at the middle of the infield. Now they break up. Garcia returns back to the box, and we resume play. Count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's hit pretty well into deep center field, still going back at the wall, and the center fielder makes the catch right in front of the wall. Nice job by Fonseca to keep that ball in the park. As that wind is blowing out from the south-north, but I guess that wind from the west must have kept that ball in here. And Fonseca was able to make the catch right in front of the wall for the second out of the inning. And here comes De Guzman to the plate. And that one's hit to the right side. That will go over the screen, foul. As you see the replay here, Garcia does give it a ride to deep center field. And Fonseca just has enough room right in front of the center field wall. First pitch to De Guzman, it's in the dirt about 5 feet in front of the plate. Vargas kind of giggled like as if saying, whoops, my bad. Count now goes to 1-1. That one's sprayed to the side netting, foul. And De Guzman finds herself behind the count, 1-2. De Guzman hits it right to the shortstop, Ahern. She bobbles it, but she's able to regather herself and throw it in time to first for the final out of the inning. But not before Angelica D'Angelo comes up big again with another 2-run home run for her in this game. And the Leopards extend their lead over the Whittier College Poets by a score of 8-0 at the end of 3.5 innings. Total tail of differences for the teams emotionally from now, even before when the game started. Whittier College had all the smiles, as we see a replay here. Ground ball right to Ahern. Bobbled it momentarily, but she's able to keep her composure and throw De Guzman out by a couple steps. As I was mentioning, Whittier before the game was the one with all smiles. They were dancing, they were having a good time, whereas the Leopards had their game faces on. They were upset by their performance in the previous game against Claremont Muscripts, where the Athenas ace of the staff, Anna Gurr, pitched a 7-inning, 1-run complete game.
Catcher, number 22, Natalia Sanchez.
But the bats for Laverne definitely did wake up in this game, to say the least, as they lead Whittier 8-0 going to the bottom half of the 4th inning. So starting off will be Natalia Sanchez for the Poets. Breaking pitch just missed the outside corner according to the home plate umpire, 1-0. Sanchez today 0 for 1. She reached base on an E6. Next pitch to Sanchez. A sprayed foul to the right side above the Leopards' dugout. Count now goes even to 1-1. The 1-1 delivery from Ponce is popped up to left field in foul territory, and that's going to fall right in front of the Whittier bullpen. Count now goes to 1-2. The 1-2 to Sanchez. Where did that miss? According to D'Angelo, kind of held the ball there for a couple seconds. She's looking at the catcher to confirm it was outside. Home plate umpire says it was. And the count now goes even to 2-2 between Ponce and Sanchez. That one's hit well to center field, but right at Condon for the first out of the inning. Ball was hit pretty well there by Sanchez, but Condon was at the right place at the right time for the first out of the inning. You see, kind of reached for that ball with Sanchez there. Ball was high, was on the top outside corner. She kind of pulled it to hit the ball into the left center field, but Condon was at the right place at the right time. That ball is in there for a strike, 0-1. For Caitlin Garza. Garza today struck out in her first at-bat of this game. That pitch is in the dirt. About 5 feet in front of the plate. Count goes even to 1-1. Garza, junior out of Chino, California, transferred from Citrus College. That one is high and outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2-1. That one's popped up, but it goes off the back screen. And the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 coming up to Garza from Ponce. That ball is away. D'Angelo had to reach for that one to prevent that one from going to the backstop. Count now goes full against Garza. Three-two delivery. It's hit to the shortstop Teves. She's under it, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. F6 on the score sheet. And coming to the plate will be the first baseman, Becca Barber. As you see the replay here, Garza got under it, well under it. Easy pop fly there for Teves. And we have 2 down here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. That pitch is high and outside for a ball, 1-0. Becca Barber, 5'5" freshman out of El Monte, California, attended Arroyo High School in the San Gabriel Valley. That pitch misses outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2-0. Travel ball team that Rebecca played for were the California A's, or the Cal A's for short. The 2-0 delivery to Barber. Just misses the outside corner. Ponce kind of chuckles, saying, okay. Ponce trying to give herself a belated birthday present by advancing Laverne to the championship game of this tournament. And she walks Barber on 4 pitches.
Now batting, center fielder, number 21.
Here comes Ellie Fonseca to the plate. For the Poets, Fonseca struck out in her first at-bat against Ponce. You have a pinch runner here.
Your attention, please.
Will be
pinch running for Whittier.
Number 27, Danica Cooley. Transfer from the University of Delaware, sophomore player out of Paia, Hawaii. She played for the Hawaii Pearls as her travel ball softball team. Cooley, coming into this game, has 3 stolen bases. First pitch to Fonseca. Swung on and missed for a strike, 0-1. The 0-1 delivery to Fonseca. Just misses the outside corner. 1-1 the count now. Cooley keeping a close eye on the pitcher. Don't be surprised if she tries to go. The 1-1 delivery is high for a ball. 2-1 the count. Alexis is playing on the bag, kind of. Playing slightly up the line. So is the third baseman, Gomez, for Laverne. 2-1. That ball is high and away, misses. Count now goes to a favorable hitter's count, 3-1. Let's see if Fonseca is given the green light for this next pitch to swing. The 3-1 delivery. Misses inside for ball 4. Ponce kind of shakes her head, doesn't agree with the call. Nevertheless, the Poets have 2 runners on, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, as Whittier trails Laverne by a score of 8-0. Another infield meeting here with the assistant coach for the Leopards. As they expect to have a pinch hitter coming in for the Poets.
44 for 23 in the 9th spot.
Megan Heel will
Now
pinch
batting,
hit
pinch
for
hitter, number 44,
Calais Guillermo.
Megan Heel.
Heel coming into this game has a batting average of 300 with 6 runs batted in. So Heel looking to cash in with runners in scoring position here for the Poets. That pitch is outside for a ball. 1-0. That pitch missed the zone again. Now the count goes to 2-0. That one gets the outside corner for a strike. 2-1 the count now between Ponce and Heel. Heel out of San Jose, California, up in the Bay Area. attended Santa Teresa High School. 2-1 pitch is popped up in the infield, and Ponce is calling off her infielder. She said she has it, and she does. Kind of an awkward catch almost, but she is able to make the play at the end of 4 innings of play. The score remains University of Laverne 8, Whittier College 0. You're watching the SCIAC Conference postseason tournament on the SCIAC.org and broadcasting on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
Got a quarter?
Top of the 5th inning we go. Laverne leads 8-0 as we welcome David back into the booth to resume the play-by-play duties.
Actually, Joseph, go ahead and do the play-by-play here in the top of the 5th. I'll do the bottom of the 5th. It looks like we're going to have our first Mercy Rule game here at the SCIAC softball tournament.
And now at third base, number 6, Kat Manalo.
Couple of changes. Kat Manalo, a 5'6" sophomore from Santa Ana out of the Segerstrom School of Arts, I believe is how they call it, a high school program out in Orange County.
Third baseman, number 4, Haley Gomez.
And here comes Haley Gomez returning to the plate for the Latebirds. Haley today is 1 for 1, walked in her first at bat, and then reached base via a single to left field in her last at bat. First pitch to Gomez is outside for a ball, 1-0. Gomez today has done a pretty good job both at the plate and defensively as well. That one's hit to shallow center. It's actually be in the infield, right to Ahern. Popped up to the shortstop to begin the top half of the 5th.
24, Shelby Tevis.
And here comes Shelby Tevis to the plate for Laverne. Tevis today is 1 for 2. She singled in her first at bat before striking out in her second at bat. That pitch is foul. Check over to first base. It was Sanchez, the catcher, just to check maybe it was fair or not. Home plate umpire ruled foul. 0-1 the count. Tevis digs in, next pitch, pops up to the left side, and that will go not off the screen. It is caught by the third baseman on the play.
First baseman, number 22.
That was number 6.
Yeah, it's Kat Manalo, who's coming into the game as a defensive replacement at third base, who made the catch.
Yeah, Kat Manalo there just barely had enough room right in front of her own dugout, but she is able to make the catch for the second out. We'll see if they'll pitch to her or not. And now we have a kind of a sarcastic round of applause as the pitcher pitches to her and she hits it to deep center field, but it dies just in front of the wall for the final out of the 5th inning, top half of the 5th.
Well, they finally decided to pitch to Schiff, and she almost knocked it out of the ballpark. That's one of the reasons why they watch it here. Here's the replay, and you can see getting a full extension, that ball going all the way back to center field. Just got held up at the last moment, and that ended up being the final out in the top of the 5th inning. So we get ready to go to the bottom of the 5th, and if Whittier College did not score, it would be an 8-0 Mercy Rule victory at the end of the 5th inning. And it looks like in the 5th, it'll be the top of the batting order for Whittier College or pinch hitters. We'll see what happens. Again, our thanks to our producer director, Shane Rodriguez, and all the fine people who worked on the broadcast. Jessica Velasquez, Billy Lopez, Vanessa Martinez, Ken Pucci, Nathan Keeler, and Mike Laponis for doing a great job today. Our 3-camera shoot, normally on a college level like this, when you're on stretch internet, you only get maybe a single camera, but thanks to Laverne Television, LVTV, Cable Channel 3 here in Laverne, coming out with their production trailer today and professional cameras. It kind of adds a little bit more to the softball tournament this way, as a lot of times women's college athletics does not receive the same attention as the men's athletics does.
Third baseman, number 6, Kat Manalo.
So Kat Manalo will lead things off, batting for Alvarez.
Wonder if Alvarez there was probably still a little bit worked up after she collided with Sanchez earlier in the game on that foul ball. Kind of a scary scene. Appeared to have been okay, but maybe not enough to continue playing throughout, as Manalo is now hitting for Alvarez.
Kat Manalo batting .091. No home runs, no RBIs. And the first pitch is the strike, 0-1.
Ponce struggling in the first game to find her spots. Now she's finding all her spots in this game.
University of Laverne 3 outs away from a meeting tomorrow in the championship game against the Claremont Mud Scripps Athenas. They would have to beat the Athenas in the first game to force a final and decisive Game 7. 1-1. That's going to be swung on and missed for strike 2.
Ponce doing what she does best, just working those corners against these batters of Whittier.
Manalo leading off here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now one missed high and away. Count now goes even to 2-2.
Two pitch on the way. That'll be strike 3 called. Manalo goes down.
Now batting, second baseman, number 9, Sierra Rodriguez.
So here's Sierra Rodriguez. Flying out to left field, lined out to second base, 0 for 2 in the ball game. Rodriguez playing at second base for the Poets. And the first pitch taken for a strike. It's 0-1.
Ponce now just painting that outside part of the zone. And D'Angelo's doing a good job of framing it on the outside corner. That would have been a strike regardless.
And it's a 5-3 put out on Rodriguez.
Now batting, right fielder, number 7, Casey Whitney.
So here you see the ball hit to third base over to first. Very easy 5-3 put out. So the batter is Casey Whitney. Whitney has walked twice in the ball game.
Whitney, the last hope for the Poets for their season. That one gets in there for a strike.
Yeah, 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Here with 2 outs, bases empty, 8-0 Laverne. Whittier on the verge of being eliminated from the tournament. And the 1-1 pitch, that's going to be outside. Ball 2, 2-1 the count. Again, the Poets down 8-0 and now down to their last out here in the bottom of the 5th inning because of the 8-run lead by the University of Laverne. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. That's going to be outside for ball 3. 3-1 the count. And Casey Whitney has had a good season. A lot of these players we've seen this weekend will be back next year. Seasoned veterans. And Whitney, for the third time in the ball game today, has walked. So she's on base for the third time. So here's Mari Ahern. Struck out swinging, flight out to center field, 0 for 2. The leading home run hitter and RBI leader for the Poets. 8-0. It's been all Laverne since the opening pitch of the ball game. They got 1 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 runs in the third, and 2 more runs in the fourth.
And you got to be thinking here, Ahern is going to be looking to find one to drive and to make sure this game is not a mercy rule and they continue on to the 6th.
The 1-0 pitch. That's going to be ball 2, 2-0. Yeah, and actually that's a good point, Joseph. If they get on the board, let's say it's 8-1, it would be 7 runs and we would play on. Again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Whittier. And that's going to be ball 3. Del Ponce behind on the count, 3 balls and no strikes to Mari Ahern. And the pitch, that's going to be a strike on the outside corner of the plate for strike number 1. 3-1 the count. Ahern from Fremont, California, up north out of Los Altos High School, and that's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks. Casey Whitney moves to second base. Ahern now at first.
Number 22, Natalia Sanchez.
So the Poets stay alive for the moment with runners at first and second base, but there are 2 outs. And the batter would be Natalia Sanchez.
Wonder if on that at bat, if Ponce was just being a little bit too conservative with Ahern, considering she knows that she's Whittier's biggest threat at the plate. Appears that we might have a pinch runner here coming in for Whittier.
Natalia Sanchez coming to the plate, batting .299 with 3 home runs, 28 RBIs at the start of the day.
And we do have a pinch runner on the play. Whitney coming out of the game and coming in to pinch run will be Madison.
Whittier at second base. Number 8, Madison Creamy De Michelle.
Madison Creamy De Michelle. Out of San Jose, California, attended Santa Teresa. Sophomore. Has 2 stolen bases. She's listed as 5'2".
Yeah, 5'2" sophomore from San Jose, California, out of Santa Teresa High School. So pinch runner at second base for Whittier. Mari Ahern at first, 2 outs, and the batter, Natalia Sanchez, batting around .299, but there are 2 outs. 1 more out will put Laverne into the championship game tomorrow. Whittier needs to at least score a run here to continue the ball game.
Count is now 2-0. Ponce here having trouble finding the strike zone.
Yeah, last thing that Ponce wants to do is walk a 3rd batter in a row here in the bottom of the 5th inning with 2 outs. And this one's going to be popped up. It's playable. Coming in to make the catch out in right field is Kendricks, and the ball game is over as ULV shuts out Whittier College by a final score of 8-0. And that'll wrap up the game. We now know that at noon tomorrow, pending the weather, we'll see the final championship game between the University of Laverne Leopards and the Claremont Mud Scripps Athenas, and that'll be on tap tomorrow, game number 6 in this tournament.
Yeah, overall a great performance by the Leopards offensively, much better than the first game against Colorado Muscripts this afternoon. A couple of home runs by Angelica D'Angelo. A pair of 2-run home runs, and she was the big bat of the game and gave Laverne an 8-0 win. And not only that, a no-hitter as well.
Yeah. Well, now for our entire crew, David Smock saying so long from Laverne, California. Once again, the final score in 5 innings, the University of Laverne 8 and Whittier College nothing. Thank you for watching the SCIAC Championship Network and LVTV Channel 3. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 12 noon. Until then, good night, everybody.